I saw your interview with Ted Cruz, and there was another senator in the meeting. Are the truckers getting through to any legislators? Are they getting, other than the cross-border mandate, is there something they're focusing on? I just feel like some of the air has gone out of the balloon because a few foundational things have changed. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, that's a great point. And you hear a lot of talk about that around here. The fact that Ukraine is taking up a lot of the media's attention, both on the liberal media and the conservative media, it's pretty universal. And so the truckers are under the assumption the only way that they will pay attention to us if we go into, the Hawk's Nest, Washington, D.C., where all the media is, where all the politicians are, where they will have no choice but to look at us and point their cameras at us on the Capitol lawn or on Constitution Avenue. But if they don't do that, if they stay here in Maryland, they're under the assumption that there's no incentive for the media to come an hour away and see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They were literally in Canada. They were parked right outside the Parliament buildings, which, by the way, is right where a lot of the media had their offices and even some of their homes. Yeah. I mean, an hour away from Washington, D.C., you might as well be a million miles away. I mean, I can't imagine some of the national Capitol Hill media getting in a vehicle and driving an hour out to the base camp. It's all, I mean, I'm not criticizing the truckers. I'm just saying logistically, being far away, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. Look, I got one more question for you, and I've been thinking about this a lot because in Canada, the emergency order that Justin Trudeau brought in the face of the truckers actually allowed him to, believe it or not, seize and freeze bank accounts of truckers and their supporters. So is there a GoFundMe or a Give, Send, Go or a crowdfunding campaign for the American truckers? And if so, how is it going? And are they worried that it'll either be shut down, like GoFundMe shut down the Canadian truckers, or it'll be frozen, like Trudeau did to Give, Send, Go? Is there that financial crowdfunding aspect of this?
Sure. So that's definitely a fear. It's mentioned by everyone. You keep hearing one way or another. You saw what happened in Canada. You saw what happened in Canada. And so, no, there's not a Give, Send, Go. There's not a GoFundMe. The organizers actually were smart enough to open up a 501c3, and they're doing everything without any crowdfunding big tech site. And they've raised maybe $1 million, but not the 10 million that you saw in Canada.
Yeah. Just for our viewers, 501s. Sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
Of course.
I apologize. I interrupted you for a second. Just FYI, for our Canadian viewers, a 501c3 is what the IRS calls a registered charity or a non-profit. So just for our Canadians. Well, listen, Jeremy, I'm glad you're in there, and it's interesting. It's very different. The vibe is very different from where you are from what it was in Canada. I'm still quite interested, and I'm glad you're there. Thanks for doing this assignment for Rebel News. I feel like we really do have eyes on it, and literally you're coming to us from inside a truck on the highway right now. I appreciate that. Please do stay in touch, and thanks for this update. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.